There's no pride in being the cheap cake person. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of baker versus baker, and I hate to see it. Like, people are kind of almost they're fighting online, and it's just I just don't like to see it in this industry. I just don't like to see it. I think we're all in this industry together, and we should all be supporting each other. I'll give you an example. So I'm not going to mention any names, but basically there was a baker. She's quite a high end baker, and she made a Peloton themed cake. And another baker on her one of her social pages said, "Oh, somebody came to me and said that they wanted a cake similar to the luxury baker." And she was kind of almost looking at the luxury baker's cake and saying, "Oh, look at the quality of it. It's not very good." And she's charging hundreds of pounds for it. My cake is much better and it's much cheaper. And I was just kind of like, why are we doing this? Why are we looking at another baker's work and saying how bad it is and always being proud about the fact that you are cheaper than the other baker? And then there were people who supported the baker saying, "Yes, I agree with you. The other baker's cake is too expensive. Your cake is much better, blah, 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 blah." And then the other baker, the luxury baker, found out about it because I think people were tagging her into the post. And she basically came out and said, "I find it very disappointing that you felt that you had to kind of basically look at my cake and just speak very negatively about it. I haven't done anything to you. You make your cake, I make mine. Why are you doing that?" And a lot of people were supporting the luxury baker. And what happened eventually was that the baker, the cheaper baker, like I think took down the post and apologized. And I think that was the right thing to do because why are you criticizing the luxury baker for the prices they charge? Is it because you don't feel confident enough to charge adequately for your cakes? Like I said, I've been seeing this a lot recently, and it's not just bakers against bakers, it's also bakers who, on social media, they document the cakes that they make and then how much, a lot of them say how much the customer paid for it. And then all the comments come in saying, "Oh, I wouldn't pay that amount for a cake. It's only worth £20, blah, 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 blah." Because I still believe people still see cakes as just being the raw ingredients, egg, flour, sugar. They don't look at the design element, they don't look at the decorating element, they don't look at the time that it takes to make a cake. They just think you just whisk it up in 5 minutes, put it in the oven, and that's it. And I think that's why there's always going to be people who are going to be like, "Oh my God, that's way too much, that's way too much." And like I said before, A, not everybody's your customer, and B, not everybody's your customer. You decide how much the cakes are dependent on how much money you want to earn, how much the ingredients are, how much the equipment costs are, how much utilities are, how much insurance is. Do you see all the things that have got to be factored into when you make a cake? Because it's a product, you're a business. And I just wonder, and this might be controversial, I just wonder if people are like this about cake prices because it's a mainly female industry. I say mainly, obviously there are male bakers, but I believe because it's a mainly female industry, people are very kind of look their nose down upon it and just be like, "Oh, why are you changing charges so much for something that costs like £5 to make?" We know it doesn't cost £5 to make because we know how much the ingredient costs have gone up over the past couple of years. But there is always this thing, and I just wonder if some bakers kind of come back and say, "Oh, this is why it costs this much." I'm like, just ignore it because at this point, people are just saying the same thing about, "Oh, you're too expensive, you're too expensive." And I've said before, not everybody is your customer. But leading from that, this whole baker versus baker, there's nothing, you shouldn't be proud about being the cheap cake lady. You have some bakers on there, they're like, "Oh, I get so many orders because I'm such good value." You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. If it's a hobby, that's fine. So for a hobby baker, you may only be charging for ingredients. But if this is your business and you're proud about the fact that you're really cheap, you shouldn't be proud about being really cheap, because you will burn out. You will burn out, and it will be like you'll get to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm literally not making any money. You're probably not even breaking even. You'll probably be losing money. Don't be proud about being the cheap cake lady. Yes, you will get lots of orders because you're cheap. You're seen as being cheap, but you're burnt out because you'll be like, what money am I making? Cost your things appropriately, and also let's support each other. Let's all bakers support each other. This whole thing about, oh, I'm cheap and you're not, and I have more customers because I'm cheap. Like I said, you shouldn't be proud to be the cheap cake person. Let's all support each other. That's the video. That's it. I just wanted to talk about it because I'm just seeing it more and more online where bakers are kind of pitting against each other. And it shouldn't be like this. We should be learning from each other and we should be supporting each other. And like I say, not being proud to be the cheap cake person. You should that's nothing to be proud about. If you're a baker, 'cause this is probably more aimed at bakers, this video, let me know in the comments what you think about this whole thing about bakers kind of sort of fighting each other on social media. Until next time, cake lovers.